Hi everybody, Morgana Galaxy here. I'm so glad that you're with me today. It's been about a week or so since I've been on, so I am eager to and glad to be back with you. I actually want to spend this video answering a few viewer questions that I had. So mainly it's going to kind of be focused on the filibuster, whether Democrats are going to be successful removing the filibuster, or even if they'll give it a try. And then looking at two Democratic senators, Joe Manchin from West Virginia, and Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, both of whom are Democrats and want to keep the filibuster. And also Joe Manchin, he wants to keep the XL pipeline. So I want to take a look at both of them. So let's get started. I think the first thing I want to do is just take a nice general look at the filibuster. So the filibuster prevents the Senate from approving their work with anything less than, I believe it's a 60 vote. Normally it would just be, a majority of 51, and then someone throws a filibuster out there, and next thing you know, they need 60 votes. And it's really been a hindrance to Democrats. Republicans, especially under Mitch McConnell, have just abused the filibuster. And to make it worse, when people look back on the history of the filibuster, it really was put in place to kind of disenfranchise Black folks. So it doesn't have the best history. It was sort of a bad compromise, and here we're stuck with it. And it really harms Democrats more than Republicans. So, but the thing is, whichever party's in power, they want to be able to use it and they want to keep it. And then when they're out of power, they want to get rid of it. It just goes back and forth, just back and forth. So right now, I think it's a more concerted push than I can recall in the past about really getting rid of this filibuster. Okay. Filibuster. So that was my preamble, just trying to get myself up in that energy. You know what I'm saying? All right, filibuster. Show us if the filibuster will stay or go. Within the Biden, let's talk about within the Biden administration. Within the Biden administration, what is the fate of the filibuster? All right. Okay. Fate of the filibuster. Okay, so interesting. So the face of the question is the Eight of Wands. So this has to do with a lot of speed. And I get a sense that this is sort of the filibuster, it's just being used to excess. It just is launched at everything. They're not discriminate in how they use the filibuster to quash legislation. It's just being abused, all right? It's just being thrown out left, right, filibuster. This is what Mitch McConnell's Republican Party has done with the filibuster. They've abused it, overused it, slung it when they shouldn't have, okay? So this is, pointing to the abuse of the filibuster for sure. What is the challenge with the filibuster? I'm just, my sense that I said a moment ago, whoever is the party in power, or I should say, whoever's not the party in power there's always one party or the other that doesn't want to lose it, that wants to keep it. It's a powerful tool. It kind of, I want to say, is almost like a kingmaker in that whatever party is using the filibuster, it gives them more power than they should have. The intent was for most legislation to go along a majority vote. 51 votes does it. And the constant abuse of that makes the party that's using the filibuster stronger than it really is entitled to be. If something should be passing at 51 and it's always filibuster, and nothing can pass without 60 votes, again, that makes that minority party have more power, more authority, really, than they're entitled to. And that's what the challenge is with this. With this card is, it's just not letting legislation proceed as it was intended. Majority. Okay. The outcome, interesting, with the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords. So, the Queen of Swords is very thoughtful, logical, rational, pragmatic thinking. This is not someone who's emotionally swayed. So this is definitely indicating that a review of whether to keep or discard the filibuster really should be made logically, impassionately, and, for the good of everybody. So it's just telling us to take a look at this with impartiality, with balance, with fairness, with truth. So that's not telling me it comes or goes. There's definitely an indication here of a strong female leader. Maybe a woman will take this issue up and really kind of run with it. I did ask if this is heading towards, if this, I did ask within the Biden administration. And this often is my card for Kamala. She's definitely got that queen energy going on. She's very intelligent, very thoughtful. And as vice president, she is the president of the Senate. So I don't know. I hadn't really thought of it that way before, but this card is telling us, hey, maybe Kamala Harris has a role in, the Senate and the filibuster. Obviously, we know she can break a tie, but I wonder if she might come down on one side or the other on this filibuster issue. Let's just pull one more clarifier. Okay, Ace of Cups. That's a new beginning. So Ace of Cups generally would be a yes card. Again, does it stay or does it go? Yes, I don't know. But this indicates a new beginning. You really got to look deeply. These people have to look deeply into themselves, figure out what's right or wrong, and just really, again, make a call for the best good of all. So I'm going to say undecided. It's interesting because these cards are like two sides of the brain. Think about things rationally, non-judgmentally, using your logic. And this card is saying look into things deeply using your intuition and your heart and your emotions. So if anything, it looks like those two things are competing with each other, right? Whoever wants to get rid of the filibuster is usually in this camp. Those who want to keep the filibuster, I feel oftentimes is in this camp. So there's definitely this duality here. Yeah, it might still be up in the air. There's just we don't know yet. It hasn't been determined. We'll have to check back again. Okay, so, there was no there. So that's a thing. All right, let's get into Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. Let's start with Joe. Joe from West Virginia. So he's a Democrat, but he wants to keep the XL pipeline. He has come out and said he will not move to get rid of the filibuster. He is fussing over this Biden, the stimulus package, the American Rescue Plan, right? Wanting to limit how many people get it, really focus it in on the most needy. So I guess the idea is that this guy's a Democrat in name only. Are you a Democrat or are you just a moderate Republican, dude? What's your thing here? Your agenda. Okay. Joe Manchin. So I'm just going to do sort of a general reading. Show us Joe Manchin. What should we ask about Joe? Is this guy a Democrat or a Republican? Okay. Show me, is Joe gonna hurt or help Joe Biden? Show me Joe Manchin in the Democratic Party, huh? Okay. Let's bring it down. Joe Manchin, the Democratic Party. All right. Interesting. Okay, so first off, we get the Emperor. So this tells me that Joe Manchin, this tells me he's not a party chump, okay? He's not some guy who's just going to roll over for Chuck Schumer or Joe Biden or whoever wants him to do whatever. This guy's his own man, okay? He's got his own man. He's got his own mind. He's got his own will. And yeah, he's not going to be kowtowing to anybody and just rolling over for folks. If you want Joe Manchin on your side, you're going to have to come at him with a logical, well thought out, well reasoned argument. Okay, you need to have your wits about you. He is going to want the details. He's going to want the truth of the matter. He will be fair, listen to you impartially. He'll be fair, but not generous. Okay, he is firm, resolute, very stoic. This guy's a hard ass, okay? This guy's a hard ass. And he'll be fair, but he's not going to cut you any slack, okay? The challenge with Joe Manchin here, his challenge with this Five of Wands is that he could be argumentative, all right? He could fuss and fight and maybe pick some fights and just... He's not overly cooperative. He is going to go his own way. He's going to do what he wants, say what he thinks. He's just not fallen into party line here. He will rumble, okay, for his ideals. Whatever he believes in, you believe in, that person believes in, this person believes in. All y'all are going to be fighting and fussing. And this is a challenge for Joe Manchin. This doesn't serve him well. Okay, so this is telling us for him to be more successful, he needs to work on actually being cooperative, working within his party. I mean, nobody wants a chump that rolls over. We do want these people to vote with their conscience when it's appropriate, but this is his challenge. Okay, what is in the sky above him? He's going to have to come face to face with the Ten of Cups, which is my happy voter card. It's also, just happy families. It's just a wonderful card. You're blessed. You have a loving, wonderful family, home life, community. Everything's great. So he's going to have to come face to face with that. And I think these are the Democratic voters, right? Democrats are friggin' thrilled right now. They're impeaching Trump. Biden's in the White House. Kamala's VP. Everyone is thrilled. And why is he having to come face to face with them? Because he's not doing what these happy voters want him to do. By all accounts, voters don't want this Keystone Pipeline, and he's messing with that. Voters want, this stimulus package, and he's coming face to face with the will of the voters. This is what he's dealing with, because he's not in line with that as much as he could or should be. So the base at the reading, sort of the foundation with the Knight of Wands, is, he's a good worker. He knows his stuff. He's very strong-willed. He's willing to go it alone as well. Although the foundation of it is just that he's a strong person. He's a strong fighter. He's willing to stand his ground. Okay, he's just going to stand his ground. He's smart, and you know, it's not going to be a completely untenable stance he takes. He will defend himself. He'll defend himself. He has movement forward. He's got a lot of energy behind him, and that's his foundation. And I think that's the source of all that argumentativeness. He's got a lot of energy. He's probably got surplus energy. You know, this is what allows that emperor to be so strong. Okay. In his past with the magician, this is telling us that the energy that he's coming from is one of manifesting. So he knows how to make things happen. He's got all the tools he needs to do what he needs to do to get what he wants, to manifest. So, you know, he has that skill. The problem is he using it in accord with the party? Is he using it to, you know, to meet the will of the people? And the energy that he's moving into with the Empress is, I feel like this is telling me that he's going to lighten up a little bit, that he's going to understand that he's going to have to move this, this American recovery package forward. This is something that helps the land, that helps the nation. It's supposed to help all, and I feel like this is where he's moving into, contemplating these kind of ideas, moving more towards, you know, accepting this recovery plan. Again, you know, this is all about the land, caretaking the land. And when it comes to the Keystone Pipeline, I think this is going to be an issue for him moving forward. He's really going to have to figure out, are you a caretaker or an exploiter? You know, are you here to caretake our natural resources, or are you here to exploit them? Are you here to help the American people, or, you know, are you too above it all? But the Empress, she promises that love and compassion and abundance and understanding. So there's a really good chance that all those answers will be in the affirmative for Joe Biden, but he might have to kind of get there. You know what I mean? I think the biggest problem with Joe isn't his intentions. I think his problem is his personality. I feel like he's very strong, and that moves into being gruff and abrupt. You know, he's got really strong ideas, but if they're not in alignment with what other people want, he'll be argumentative and stand his ground. I just think this guy's a tough ass, and they'll have to be pretty firm with him. You know, Biden and the Democrats and Schumer, whoever, they're going to have to be tough with this guy because he's a tough guy. But in the end, he has the potential. He cares about the will of the people, and he cares about everybody being lifted up, okay? I don't get the sense that he's like evil, you know. That Empress card is a wonderful, wonderful card. So if that's the energy he's going to be moving into, that is good news for all of us. Okay, so that's Joe Manchin. I don't know much about the guy. You know, I just really read briefly on him, what he stood for and didn't stand for with those couple of issues. But the cards are not showing me some kind of monster or anything like that. Again, that Empress card is a really good energy for him to be moving into for all of us. And now we're going to move on to Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona. She also, apparently, was it Joe? No, I feel like, maybe it was Joe. One of them went on Fox News to announce to Fox's audience that, I think it was Joe, that no, he wouldn't get rid of that filibuster. But we're on Kyrsten now. So she wants to keep the filibuster. Kyrsten's problem is that Arizona's a red state. She's a Democratic senator in a red state, which means that she can't be flapping her lips for every single Democratic cause as openly as she might like, right? She's got to kind of tread a line. She's got to tread a line. This is Arizona. She's got to tread a line here. So, and I'm getting the feeling she's ambitious. She wants to go far. She wants to be a long-term player here from Arizona, and the only way you can do that is that balance act. All right, show us Kyrsten Sinema. Sinema or whatever. Kyrsten Sinema. All right. Do the same basic reading on her, so I'll bring you back down. Okay, we've got a couple shared cards in common here. No surprise, I guess. So, for the indicator card, okay, here she is. She's the Queen of Wands, okay? She's a hard worker. She's very smart. She's got a lot of internal power, a lot of internal strength. She can display incredible patience. She has control of herself and her emotions and her reactions. She, is in a really good standing here as the queen. She's holding her authority. And look at these dual lions under her. She has the ability to tame the beast. So I translate that as she has the ability to work with the Republicans, to compromise, to be patient, to have good support, and, come out on top, all right? So this is a good card for her. Her challenge with the Two of Swords. She's got a really tough time in Arizona making firm decisions. Okay, just one moment. Let me take care of my cat. I think it's because, working in a red state with a strong GOP base, she always has to take that into account whenever she, makes a call on something or makes a decision or decides she wants to be on this side or that side. She's always having that duality that she has to straddle, see? And it can be a very sharp edge, a dangerous territory for her to stand in. But so far, she is managing to straddle that duality in Arizona, that blue and red divide there. So far, she's still surviving, all right? But this is the challenge for her. This is not a situation that's going to go away or resolve itself or be legislated away, right? And unless Arizona's demographics really change, this will always be a challenge. Here we are in the sky. What is she going to be facing? We have the Five of Wands again. So this is the arguing, the different ideologies, kind of hashing it out, arguing with each other, fussing and fighting, not being cooperative. Again, all these parties, all these ideologies, she always is going to be facing this battle, okay? This battle of thoughts and battle of wills and battle of ideas and battle of parties, and all of it is always just right there, boom, in her face. The foundation is the Emperor. And this means that she has a very strong foundation. She has the ability, just like Manchin, to think clearly, to think concisely, to wade through all the BS and really get to the truth of a matter. She's balanced. She's fair, right? She's not overly emotional. She is a person you want to go to resolve conflicts or get good advice, because she's going to listen impartially and just make a sound and solid and good decision. She has a good foundation that she is resting on. So that is good for her. the energy she just came through with judgment is, I guess she's been judged recently. So at some point in her past, she faced judgment. She faced some decision or some call she made, boom, came right back in her face. I'm getting like a little comeuppance here for her. She might have been dinged a little bit or battered around a little bit about something she said or she did. I mentioned the filibuster, but I'm guessing, could definitely have been these cats. Hold on. So anyways, back to Kyrsten with this judgment. Yeah, I feel like she's been dinged. Something, I don't know. Again, I don't know much about her. Maybe it was the whole election brouhaha in Arizona. They were one of the battleground states. Yeah, she got dinged at some point in the past for something she did or said. And moving on into, the upcoming future, she has the High Priestess card right here. So this basically is telling me she's sitting on something. She's maybe got a secret. That High Priestess, she's so wise and thoughtful, and she can go within, and she really has knowledge, knowledge of things that are secret, knowledge of things that are hidden. And in the future, people are going to be wanting to get at that information. And she is the gatekeeper. She will decide what she says and what she doesn't say. And, I'm wondering if it has to do with election shenanigans in Arizona. Did Trump call AZ or talk to certain people? Were there, maybe some bad Republican operatives in Arizona who were doing some things, in the state election process? This is kind of where I'm going with this. I feel like being in Arizona, she must have witnessed something. She saw something. She knows some things that so far she's keeping inside and not releasing. But the fact that this is coming up in her near future tells us either someone's going to be trying to get some information out of her, or she's going to start telling us those secrets that she knows. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for those two. And, I think that is going to be it just for me today for these few viewer questions that I got. I know some other videos like, I'm going to read on Manchin. And then did I? No, totally forgot. Read on Melania Trump instead. So I'm sorry about that. I hope that this makes up for it. And yeah, for some reason I didn't answer what you wanted to know. Just let me know. I'll see if I could hit it again. But so far it looks like both Joe and Kyrsten they're all right. They're all right. They're a little different. They're coming from a different state. Everybody has their area of the country they got to deal with or their constituents. But I didn't, fortunately, get anything really underhanded or low with either of them. So that's a plus. All right. And I'll be back with you guys soon for another reading. I know I've got some making up to do since I was gone for a week. But yeah, I've been watching this impeachment. The Democrats had a friggin' solid case, okay? So probably like you, I'm listening to them, all the Republicans coming out of there saying, oh, nothing moved me. I didn't hear anything I didn't already know. I don't feel any different. And you know what? They got to be a bunch of liars because I don't see how they could be unmoved watching something that they themselves went through. Except maybe Josh Hawley, since he was up and away with his feet kicked back on reading stuff. Anyways, I digress. Thank you for visiting me, and I will be back with you guys soon. Have a great week. Take care. Bye.